I can't cry anymore. None of this is savable. Oh my Lord. This is she when she was a little baby, 6, 7 months old. She's shooting pool at my dad's pool table. Dance recitals.
All my music is on the street.
That picture from the McDonald's scholarship program.
Oh really?
Yeah. On the outside of the folder from there.
My name is Hilda. I am a professional freelance harpist. My home was destroyed during the Great Flood of 2016. I have 2 children, ages 10 and 3. Both of my boys are considered having special abilities. My older son is on the autism spectrum. He's been diagnosed with dyslexia, ADHD, ODD, along with musculoskeletal disorders, sensory processing disorders, a plethora of other issues with him. And my younger son, the 3-year-old, has a mild case of cerebral palsy, global developmental delay, speech delay, as well as epilepsy. So I have been blessed by God to be able to be a stay-at-home mom so that I can take care of my children and take them to therapy, which is 4 days a week, back-to-back schedules with the boys. One is checked out early, check in late several times a week. So this has just been quite devastating. But my team, which consists of my mom, and I'm blessed to have such a wonderful ex-husband that help carry on the weight of everything, not just falling on me. Of course, during this time, harp gigs have been few and far and in between right now. I am the harpist in residence at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in downtown Baton Rouge, where Pastor Fred Jeff Smith is the pastor there. My church has been wonderful with reaching out to us, as well as my older son's school, Louisiana Key Academy, which is a private charter school for children with dyslexia. They've been reaching out to us as well. How we found out about All Hands Volunteers was my ex-husband was in New Orleans taking his older daughter to Xavier University to finish her registration for college, and he just began talking to people, and he called me and said, "Hey, I just spoke to someone, text this number and give them your information, they'll know you'll call." And I did so. The very next day, I received a call from All Hands Volunteers saying that they would come out within the next few days to evaluate the situation at the house. And that was truly a blessing, because being a single mom with limited financial, because I am home, so my finances are limited. I did not have flood insurance. This is a home that I grew up in since the age of 11. And with no flood insurance, it's difficult to pull things out with the children with their disabilities. My mother is older. Melvin is a retired veteran. It was difficult to figure out how I would get all of this done. But by the grace of God, All Hands Volunteers has been very helpful, picking apart my home. And it's overwhelming by all means to see everything out on the curb. In fact, I was just shown a few moments ago some of my music from my college years, where I studied at the Cincinnati Conservatory and the Juilliard School of Music, and photographs of myself from years past. And it's just overwhelming to see my piano out. But I'm thankful my harp was not in the flood, because it's housed at Shiloh Baptist Church, where I play every Sunday for 2 services and during the week, and where I'm needed there. So God is still good.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is.
To be able to bless us with people to do this for us. And I say us because it takes a village to not just raise your children, but a village of support for yourself as well. This is beyond overwhelming, because there's devastation all around, to look all around, and every home on this street is a loss for everyone. It's overwhelming. 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 But I'm thankful. Very thankful. We have our lives. The waters began to rise Saturday, August 13th. And
Street had never flooded.
this street never flooded. I grew up in the home across the street with my great aunt, my grandmother's sister, and my mom growing up. And I've been a part of this street since I was 3 years old. So for 36 years, I've been residing on this street one way or the other. And the water was just slowly rising, and I kept saying, oh, things are good. The water's not to the first step. I said, oh, still not bad. The water's not to the second step. And by Saturday afternoon, the flood waters were pouring in from the Mohegan-Prescott crossover down the street. And slowly the waters began to rise and rise and rise. And by Sunday morning at 7 a.m. when I came to assess the damages, I had to walk through flood waters about 4 blocks back and come up this side street. And I waded through water above my waist just to stand as close as I could in the street to see the damage that was done to this house. And I you don't think about what could happen. I could have slipped, fallen, been bit by a snake. I thought of none of those things while my mother waited in my vehicle for me. And it just, to see the water was all the way, maybe about, what is this, a couple inches under the windows at that particular time. And it took days to be able to get into the home. So I think it was Wednesday before we were able to get in to see the damage. And of course by then there's mold, everything's soaking wet, and you try to salvage things that are of great importance, and it's just impossible. It's just impossible. So I'm looking at the wood and I see things still look wet, and it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, and it's just never ending. Your mind is constantly processing, how to continue to move forward, because God does not want us to stand still and dwell in your current situation, because there's always a rainbow at the end of all of this. And so my children have been quite resilient in this. So many people have come along and helped us in so many ways, and I'm just truly grateful.